sure by now you heard that on September 29th, we're going to be experiencing something kind of cool. We're going to be having two moons. So really, the second moon that's going to be coming is an asteroid, a small asteroid. They're calling it PT5, and going to be in the gravity pull that circles around the Earth. So, you guys know I'm really not an astrologist at all, but when certain things are happening in the world right now, I always tune in to what's the spiritual meaning of what we see. I'm always asking, show me in a way I understand what I need to know. It's something that I ask all the time when I go out in the morning. And here's this thing that's going to be coming into our presence that's going to be bringing energy with it. So the moon for many of us is a time of believe in the moon energy, and if you allow yourself to receive the energy from the moon, it's really about letting go and about re-engaging in the wisdom of what's coming in, making space, and then adding more wisdom into your life. This synchronicity of releasing and then reaching out and taking more, right? Letting go of what you don't need, holding on. And a long time ago, I used to get into the habit of cleaning, cleaning things out, like cleaning out my wallet or cleaning out a drawer or something like that. And it's interesting because over the past couple of days, I've been noticing, before I really started to think about what is this full moon, second full moon really mean, I started noticing that I was cleaning out drawers in my kitchen, drawers in my own workspace, and I was physically feeling this need to let go of what I don't need anymore. And it's really just an invitation for us, the second moon, in my understanding, to shift. It's about inviting that duality into our lives, where we're leaning more on our intuition instead of our logic. The duality, right? Logic versus intuition. It's about letting go of the masculine side of us of always doing and getting to the feminine side of ourselves, which is allowing that receiving to happen. This, again, duality of the one thing and the other thing, light and dark, looking at what's light in the world that's coming to us in information and what's dark. Again, duality. And so when I start to think about those things and I start to think about what's presenting to all of us all over the place, it's this understanding of this like harmony, this balance that happens between the two sides of everything. And I think that always changing the landscape of our life by increasing our ability to let things go and also to receive more. And it gives us a sense of clarity and understanding. And what's really so important is to really acknowledge your own personal gifts, to really see them as such, as personal gifts, and not to just dismiss them and allow them to be special and meaningful because they were given to us, and acknowledging that they do exist and they're a real thing allows the reality of what's not tangible to be something that we actually get to focus on and anchor into. The thing about intuition is that it's about trust, right? It's about having faith in things that we can't actually touch with our fingers. And it's something that we do all the time. If you've ever loved anyone or hated anyone, those are things that you actually can't put your finger on, but it's something that we feel and we experience. So it's the same thing when we enter into this idea of the duality of trusting in what we know. I want you to take special attention to October 13th, which is really the next full moon cycle, and becomes all the rituals that you typically do during the full moon. But this particular full moon, with it being the two full moons, I want to encourage you to journal what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what emotions are coming up to you, and what are the answers of those feelings that you have. Letting them come out on paper and letting them just be, right? And just letting them see what they are, and perhaps even rereading what those journal entries are. So many times in my book, Trust Your Intuition, I wrote down journal and channel messages, and I would just write them out, write the emotions out. It wasn't until much later that I started to read them back and I started to really understand their significance. So I want to invite you to create a two moon journal and really write down all the things that you're experiencing during this time. It's only a very small amount of time that we have these two moons. They leaves on November 25th. And I think that period that we're allowing shows about the transit nature of life. Things can come for a very short amount of time and have a really big impact in our life. And to allow that flow to come through us, feel what we feel, and then let it leave. But during this particular time of these two moons, there's going to be a lot of heightened awareness, heightened intuition, if you're in that game, if you're in that work, and taking special note of all the things that you're seeing, feeling, and experiencing during this time, creating sacred rituals of writing down what you're feeling and allowing yourself to be in that I am presence. I am all I am. And saying that affirmation over and over to yourself in the morning as you greet the day, choosing today as the day that you are going to live in each moment, not getting ahead of yourself. Noticing that when you feel that fight of resistance, of that duality coming in, and just making a note of it and noticing what you need to do to release it and making a note of that. These are all wisdom lessons, I call them, that we get to reflect back to as we move on and move forward. You know, like I said many times before, personal growth is layers of the onion, but the meaty stuff, the really juicy stuff, is in the pockets between the layers of the onion. That's where all the emotions live. That's where all the heart lives. So take this time to absorb and allow whatever you're feeling to be released and let go and spoken with your voice by writing, if you want to sing it, and record this information or write it down and then play it back and play back that information and let it really allow your soul to heal. Thanks for tuning in today. Bye bye.